Every year, thousands of refugees and asylum seekers risk dangerous land and sea routes to come to Europe. Along the way, they endure threats of drowning, kidnapping, starvation, and brutal violence. Is arrival in Europe the end of the struggle? How do refugees cope with trauma from their journeys?
I still see these things in my dreams, and I wake up terrified of where I will find myself.
How long do these psychological scars persist?
Sometimes those traumas appear and I'm a different person, like I'm totally depressed, I'm totally out of control.
Before I came here, my only fear was drowning. While I was on the boat, I remembered my son. I looked up at the sky. It was all black. Everything around me was black. Everyone was scared. The waves started to rock the boat, and water started flooding in. The petrol mixed with the water. It was a horrific scene. There is nothing but water around you, nothing but darkness and loud engine noises. People are screaming, people are crying. It's a feeling that's impossible to imagine. You have to live it. In these moments of despair, I felt like I wouldn't be able to complete my journey. And that I'd be one of those people we used to hear about who drowned. Just a number mentioned in the news.
Mohammad fled his home city of Aleppo more than a decade ago at the beginning of the Syrian civil war. After fleeing, he travelled to Lebanon, where he found work as a videographer and got married and had a son. Mohammad's son was born with severely restricted blood flow to the brain. As a result, he now suffers from a form of cerebral palsy and has serious physical and vision impairments. In 2024, Mohammad made the difficult decision to leave his family behind and attempt to reach Germany via the dangerous central Mediterranean crossing. If successful, his aim was to bring his family to join him, so that his son could receive specialist treatment for his worsening condition.
The more we delay his treatment, the less his chance of recovery becomes. All these things put a lot of pressure on me. My son is growing up and I'm not there. I've been away from him for about a year and a half. He has almost forgotten that he has a father.
After crossing from Egypt into Libya, Mohammad endured weeks of inhuman treatment at the hands of people smugglers, while waiting for his chance to cross the Mediterranean on a rickety wooden boat. In December of 2024, Mohammad was pulled from the water alongside more than 260 other refugees by the Life Support, a rescue ship operated by Italian NGO Emergency. Roberto Maccaroni has been the Life Support's medical coordinator since the ship's first rescue mission in 2021.
We have to give daily a general medical report to the authorities ashore. Usually, we write on our report, general conditions are good. That's true on a clinical point of view. But nobody would say to these people that their conditions are good. Psychological status is something that it's not easy to investigate, because these people are in a condition of torture, persecution, violence since years sometimes. They bring with themselves a trauma, all of them. You start to see strange behaviors. People that stay alone, people that start crying, children that are completely silent.
Nearly 250,000 people entered Europe via irregular migration routes in 2024. Unsurprisingly, trauma and mental health issues are rife among refugees and asylum seekers. A recent study among Syrian refugees found that 43% suffered from PTSD and 40% from depression, a rate 10 times higher than among the general public. Now, as Mohammad works to navigate the complicated asylum process and bring his family to join him in the central German city of Halle, he struggles with his mental health. The nightmare of his journey is never far from his thoughts, and far away from friends and family, the ache of loneliness takes a heavy psychological toll.
Unfortunately, I'm currently living a very lonely life. I'm alone, I cook for myself. I sit for an hour to talk to my son, then I go back to sleep. My life is a routine. It's very lonely. A gruesome kind of lonely. Of course, if someone comes from work and finds his family there, it provides a psychological relief, reduces the pressure. Life is about being around others. If a person is not able to socialize, the loneliness can kill them.
Laura Lupe is a Venezuelan psychologist who traveled to Spain more than a decade ago.
In the beginning, you don't exist in anyone's mind. You are alone. People feel powerless. They feel like they have no agency. Another stage starts. You start to try to integrate in the form of making new networks and connections. Community is so important and such a protective factor. It is a human experience of connection, and it is the fact that you are existing in someone else's mind, that you are not alone with your thoughts, with your memories, with the trauma.
In the first month or two, I started looking for job opportunities and places to volunteer. I volunteered at a local school to teach Syrian students. We are trying to work. We are learning the language. We are doing all the things that can help us integrate into this country.
One of the most challenging aspects of migrating is whether you have the ability to work is part of your identity. You are in a sense of purpose and that you can actually contribute to the country. You need to practically reinvent yourself, start from scratch.
My psychological issues and overthinking turned into a physical illness. I could not sleep at all. And after a few days, I collapsed, and an ambulance took me to the hospital. It's been like this for 4 months. Most of the doctors say, it's just stress, don't overthink it.
In that moment, people are just wanting to survive. And at the moment, they may not be fully registering, let's say, the experience that they're going through.
Of course, I know that it's very unhealthy to keep all these stresses and experiences to myself. As a recently arrived person, I don't have much experience, and I don't know where to get support to improve my mental health.
Many refugees continue to struggle with severe mental health issues even years after arriving in Europe. 28-year-old Arif Mirzad fled Afghanistan after the Taliban took control in August 2021. After arriving in Madrid on a Spanish evacuation flight, Arif faced the prospect of starting a new life without any friends, family, work, or time to process what he had just experienced.
The feeling of loneliness started from that moment. I was scared. I was lost totally. You get to a new country, to a new culture, to a place where you cannot communicate with people. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know what to do.
1 month later, 2 months later, begin to appear all the trauma symptoms.
Maria Angeles Plaza is a psychologist with the Spanish Commission for Refugee Aid. For more than 20 years, she's worked with refugees and asylum seekers in the Spanish capital of Madrid.
People have to tell the painful stories and memories one again and again to the asylum office, the lawyer, the psychologists, the social workers. All that memories and its feelings are coming again and again, and that is very re-traumatizing. The normal thing that refugees do is don't talk about what happened.
Now, nearly 4 years later, Arif speaks fluent Spanish, has friends and a job he enjoys. But the traumas of his exit from Afghanistan are never far away, and the memories and experiences of his old life still cause him severe anxiety on a daily basis.
The trauma, the depression appears again, and like I want to break something. I hurt myself with needles. I lived with my disability in Afghanistan for many years.
When he was 10, Arif stepped on a landmine while walking near his home in northern Afghanistan. The explosion took his right leg and nearly killed him.
Growing up as an amputee in Afghanistan is very difficult because every day people were treating me like I'm not a human. I get used to live with those negativity, those negative comments. I think the trauma of losing my leg as a child has also contributed to my mental health struggles as an adult.
It's important to understand the whole context and understand that the body may be here and may be working, may be functioning, but the mind takes longer to catch up and to actually work through everything that has happened.
A few months ago, I started having a very strange and strong panic attack. I was really scared and I went to the hospital, but they didn't take my problem seriously. All they would do was give me an appointment with a psychologist, but the appointment was not for 6 months.
We don't have enough doctors and support. Mental health is a human right. It's important to give attention to this part of the society.
These traumas, these emotions, these negative feelings, they are not gonna disappear. They will be with you for a long time. I try to share my problems, my traumas with my friends, calling my family, talking with my mom, hearing the voices of my siblings, praying. There's lots of ways to relax ourselves when the anxiety, when the depression manifests.
Back in Germany, Mohammad continues to struggle with the psychological burden of loneliness and uncertainty that is linked to his life as a new refugee. He knows his journey is far from over.
The most important thing for me is to see my son again, to see my wife again, and to live together in a safe country. Whenever I have free time, I go to a quiet place, like a lake or a river, and I think of them. Will we be reunited in the coming years or not?